in any conflict. Your fate will depend on your actions. War crimes will be prosecuted. War criminals will be punished. And it will be no defense to say, I was just following orders.
I want to thank everyone that put together the Tribunal and everyone here today for inviting me to participate in this gathering of what I think are some of the greatest advocates for humanity in our era. It's really, truly great for me to be here with so many people who are working so hard to hold the United States and its leaders accountable for the terrible war crimes they have committed. I really can't start my talk today without saying something that I hope people don't misunderstand, but I feel personally that I need to say that I am truly, profoundly sorry for what the United States has wrought upon the world. I know that this is not my obligation to do, but I feel that I must do it because I don't think any U.S. government official will ever say it. And I know that it doesn't mean much just coming from one individual, but I mean it with all of my heart, and I couldn't start without saying it today. The United States government's unlawful and covert practices started very early on. And I'm just going to say this to give people a picture of how quickly this administration seized on an opportunity to repress people. Within one day of the attacks on the United States, the government started rounding up in excess of 1,500 people. That's a guess. We'll never know how many. Immigrants and foreign visitors to the United States of Middle Eastern origin and/or of the Muslim faith, and put them in jails and detention centers around the United States, and ordered the guards at those jails to lie to the attorneys who came to the jails and to lie to the foreign consulates about who was imprisoned there. This was a deliberate order of our Attorney General then, John Ashcroft, to lie to everyone that came to the door about who was there. And when we filed under our federal law seeking information about who had been arrested, because people had come to us and said, they took my husband, my brother, my son, my nephew, and I don't know where they went. And we had to go literally door to door to try and find people. And when we asked under this law, this information law, about how many people were taken, what was the justification, whether they had attorneys, whether their families knew, whether their consulates were advised, whether they could make calls, we got an answer from our Department of Justice that we were not entitled to know. And we won in the trial court when we sued. We won in the Court of Appeals, and we lost in the highest court in the land. And that means we'll never know how many people were taken in. What we do know is that when people were arrested, and they were arrested for civil violations, they committed no crimes, they were never accused of any crime, they were never accused of any relationship to any terrorist organization. They were arrested on the basis of unsupported and uncorroborated tips that people called in all over the United States about not liking too many Middle Eastern men working in this grocery store, being annoyed at this neighbor. Those were the kind of tips people were arrested upon. And when they were in jail and given the opportunity by an immigration judge to go home and had gone through the entire immigration proceeding, the United States kept them for 2 years longer without any charge, without any trial, without any accusation, whatever, until they had decided that they had investigated them enough to let them go. And then the United States deported them in the middle of the night so that no one could see where they were going, no one could track where they went, and this was our first inkling of what we were going to be facing with regard to human rights violations by the United States.